Okay. First, before we take a motion on the agenda, we would like to add an item, and we'll just add it right to the next item on the list, so it'll be the new item number 4. And that item is to be approve the resignation of Jessica Ahrens as 6.5 paraprofessional effective October 13, 2025. So is there a motion to accept the revised agenda? Okay. Any questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. All right, so then let's move directly to that. And this item is the approval of the resignation of Jessica Ahrens as a 6.5-hour paraprofessional effective October 13, 2025. Do we have a motion? Thank you. Any questions or comments or discussion of any kind? Okay. If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. And that typically is rolled into the consent agenda, but this was a later addition is why that one was done separately. Okay. Next up, we get to read through and take a look at our donations. This month, for the elementary backpack program. We have our very consistent givers. We have $55 from the Bethany Lutheran Church and $639.74 from the Windom Methodist Church. And we are grateful for those sustained commitments. And for football, we have $200 from Clay and Jennifer Wallinga and $100 from Borsgard Construction, LLC. And in miscellaneous, we have a snare drum valued at $75 from Joanne Ray to the band program, and $150 from Wells Fargo Community Care Grants Program on behalf of Stephanie Peterson for the Elementary Student in Need Fund. Is there a motion for this resolution? Okay. Any questions or discussion? Otherwise, since this is a resolution, this is a roll call vote, and we will start with Matt.
Yes.
Brianne?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion passes. Okay, anyone for open forum tonight?
No one for open forum.
And next up is the consent agenda. Is there a motion for that? Okay, did anybody see anything that needs to be pulled out independently for discussion? Or is there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Okay, now we get to move to our administrative reports. Let's start with Mr. Barfneck.
All right, hello. Keep this quick for you tonight. We have in the board report our elementary and pre-K newsletter in both English and Spanish for your viewing pleasure. And just some good dates in there and some good information to help your elementary and preschool kids out. We did wrap up fast bridge testing this past week. We used that data to guide our interventions for our students. We group our students and then give them instruction based on their individual needs. And we are going to be filling in gaps to improve their reading skills using UFly or other materials based on whatever the students' needs are. So we're very excited about that. I didn't put this in here, but speaking of assessment, we are in the middle of our preschool screenings this week. And so that does help us find out if our preschool students need any supports, and we can start offering them at the earliest age possible. So that is also going on now. Also recently, I just had to mention, it was Custodian Appreciation Week. At the elementary, we have Greg and Ryan and Ezra in the evening. There are custodians at the elementary, and then Civilai is the custodian up at Bridges. All these guys just do an awesome job of, keeping our facilities clean, but they're also really great with kids. If you ever see these guys interacting with kids, they are just all an amazing crew. So just wanted to give them a shout out. Fire Safety Week was last week. I wanted to thank the Windom Fire Department for hosting. Our elementary kids went to the emergency services building, and the fire department came to Highland to visit our preschool kids. And then they also did a fire truck parade around the elementary school on Friday afternoon. So there's a couple of pictures there. Couple of things coming up. CKLA Strength and Training for teachers on October 15th, and our pairs will be enjoying Science of Reading training, same day on Wednesday. We have Grandparents' Day coming up on October 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. Grandparents or special friends are welcome to come to the elementary, join their child in maybe reading a book. There's probably some coffee and cookies there, and just, get to see what their kids are doing. We also have coming up Family Engagement Night escape rooms. I'm sorry, I put August 28th there. That is obviously not correct. October 28th. We are looking for ways to get some families in and just have some fun doing family stuff. And so, Jess Allers is preparing those for us. And also, we are going to have our fall celebrations and the end of first quarter on October 31st. In other news, we are still, of course, looking for paraprofessionals, whether they are regular employees or substitutes. We're also looking for substitute teachers. Both buildings that I work with have amazing staffs, and we'd love to have more people join us, whether permanently or just visiting. We'd take them all. And just to close out, Amy Kelly is our elementary administrative assistant. She's just the face that greets you at the elementary and just kind of keeps all the gears moving. So if you come to the elementary, say hi to Amy. I just wanted to give her a shout out and say, she'll say hi to you. Any questions I can answer for you today? All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is the middle school report. Mr. Nielsen.
All right, hey, good evening. Just quickly to go through the middle school report, I wanted to point out that our 7th graders, they partook in the Courage Retreat, and we hosted that. We had all of Windom 7th graders, Jackson 7th graders, and Mountain Lakes 7th graders here. We had 3 people from Youth Frontiers leading the retreat from 8:45 to about 2:15 that day. And talk about a great job. I do also want to point out and thank very much so, because I was in and out throughout the day, checking in, checking out, Kylie Nielsen and Bree Miller too. I don't know, Bree, if you want to touch on anything that you saw at the Courage Retreat. I did hear from Youth Frontiers people that were running it that kids did a tremendous job. I do know the Windom kids did a very, very good job. I won't speak for any other schools or anything. We won't do that, will we, Bree? No, we won't, but we'll speak for our Windom students, and they did a excellent job, the 7th graders. And again, the people that are there putting on the Courage Retreat and talking about all of the great things, that they do such a good job of keeping the kids engaged. And our leaders, we have juniors and seniors that are leaders from all 3 districts. Our juniors and seniors that partook in that did a fantastic job too of leading the small group sessions, being a part of the large group sessions, all in the nest. It was very good. Yeah, we had the curtain down. They used half the nest, but anything else to touch there? It was good. It was a great day, and I can't thank you enough, Bree, for taking the entire day to be down there with our 7th graders and help out and be a part of that with some other staff members.
It was a really fun day, and I will say I was just extremely impressed with our older kids who helped those younger kids. They took all of the challenges that they were given in stride, and they were so mature and great role models. Windom students were exceptional at it, and I was impressed with those guys' ability to keep the attention of that age group for that length of time. That is a challenge, and they did a really great job. Definitely some glazed over eyes after lunch, but then they had a dance party and livened them up a little, and it was really great to see and hear the kids' reflections at the end of the day of what their takeaways were. It's a cool event.
And then Youth Frontiers just shared with me, they have a survey that students will take too. That just was shared with me. It comes about 2 weeks after the program. So we'll be sharing that out with our 7th graders so they can complete that survey during Eagle Time tomorrow. So yeah, very good. Enrollment update. You get this all the time. I just wanted to get, because we are getting an influx of kids in the middle school, which is good news. So just so you know, we have received a number of 7th and 8th grade students just in the past couple weeks in the middle school. Again, good news. They're getting acclimated. Staff does a great job, and students of accepting them right in, and we'll keep taking them, keep bringing them on, all right? But enrollment in the middle school, And really cool with EduClimber too, because every day when it does the little overnight poll from Infinite Campus, and then on our little dashboards on EduClimber, every day I see enrollment is up this much from last year at this time. Enrollment is up this much from 2 weeks ago at this time. So that's a good thing in the middle school, because that's what I'm looking at mostly when I look at EduClimber, as I've talked about that. Our STAR assessment window closes tomorrow, so we've been taking math and reading STAR assessments, and that's going to have, it gives us a lot of data, and we're really going to break that down and look at that on Wednesday, along with some other things. Preliminary too, a big focus was math. We were talking about math. We're off to a good start in math. Kids have done a great job, but we took the STAR assessment just a little bit later than normal. Normally we did it right when we were coming back into school. We decided to give it a little bit of time. Again, I've talked about this we're only going to do it 2 times this year, this STAR assessment, instead of 3 times a year. See if that has an effect on scoring, some of the things, the trends that we're seeing. But this will really help drive some instructions, some of the instruction that we do, some different groupings that we do, and things like that. And again, we'll break it down and have a little PD day on Wednesday to look at it even further and get a little bit of math help too. The co-op, Eric Schwanke, will be down here too to talk with our math teachers too about how to look at that data and what we can do in our classrooms to be even better with it. But that STAR assessment window closes tomorrow. We've got about everybody done in middle school speaking. So again, I touched on that staff development that'll take place on Wednesday, 15th. So students will be out of the building. Nice little fall break for them here on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then looking ahead, we are already at the end of the first quarter on October 31st. Hard to believe. We sit here and it's October 13th. October 31st will be a half day for students early out, and teachers will be finalizing all grades and making sure those are ready to go in the middle school for that next week, so we can be reporting to families and a number of things that'll be happening in November. It's a busy time, and it's full steam ahead. Questions for me? Thank you very much. I'm leaving. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, Angie.
Yeah, do a little extra cheering for us, would you?
Absolutely. See you there in just a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the high school report, Mr. Joyce.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, and good evening here in middle of October. Corey and Dane have hit on quite a few things. The STAR testing window, we give STAR up through 11th grade. And then this year with our science of reading and law that we have to follow, we can choose some seniors that we also might want to do that for, to do screeners and things like that and intervene to help. But we do through 11th grade give that STAR test. So we're finishing up the math and reading on that. We've had a great 6 weeks to start the school year. I know I'll touch on homecoming in just a little bit, but we're definitely looking forward though to a little break here. And the students getting a 5-day, you can feel it. It's like tomorrow's Friday for them, so they're already excited for that. So, but we've had just a fantastic start to the school year. Fall activities are really kind of wrapping up. All right, we're getting into playoff time. Football will start playoffs next week. They wrap up the regular season this week. It's actually a great event. If anybody's not aware, Avery Fast, local student, had some cancer that he went through and treatment and things like that. And this Wednesday is kind of a tackle cancer game. And Avery's done parts of his senior project to help raise awareness and some funds, and all those funds will get donated to the Randy Shaver Cancer Institute. So we're really at our foundation. So we're really excited for Avery, and thankfully the community just south of us who we were playing on Wednesday night is also promoting the event. So we're excited to have a lot of people out for that great cause, and also there's a football game on Wednesday night. So we'll remember that too. Volleyball, obviously looking forward to having a very high seed in the sections. We're hoping they make a nice run. They've had a really nice season, and actually as soon as I'm done with my report, I'm also going to slip out. I apologize. Okay. Wings United, they have wrapped up their seasons, but I will say they ended their seasons last Thursday in playoff action. They both had to play a high seed. Boys only lost 3-1 to St. Peter. They played a great game, very fantastic, very competitive. Girls got beat pretty bad by Fairmont early in the year. They lost 6-0 in this one. So they improved greatly from that first event to the second time they had played these teams. And these teams are very good. They've got a lot of students. Fairmont and St. Peter are not small towns, okay? So keep that in mind. But they competed at a very high level. We're very proud of them. So cross country, they're having a great year, especially the boys team. A lot of PRs going on there at all times. And they're looking forward to the end of the season and their sectional run as well. So we're kind of getting to the end of the fall season. It seems like we just started. But also our volleyball team got to play last Friday in Okabena for Heron Lake Okabena Fulda's homecoming events, and we took our 10th through 12th graders over, along with 9th, 10th, or 9th grade B squad and varsity volleyball. Great event. That gym is loud, and we brought some energy there, but it was loud in that gym, and it was a lot of fun. They had their whole student body from Heron Lake, Okabena there, and it was a great event. And fortunately, we came out on top. But really, it was a nice way to end the week for the kids, and it was really fun for our student body that a lot of them maybe don't go to some games to see our girls play, and that was a lot of fun. So, and speaking of spirit and pride, I think it was over 1,200 people we had at our homecoming football game. 1,200. Maybe we didn't count at the doors. So that was pretty astounding to see that many people come out for that. And of course, the weather helps, but 1,200 people. So we're hoping to see, just as many this Wednesday. It's exciting. And just to be honest, people probably know Roman Voss is the quarterback for Jackson County Central. He's going to the University of Minnesota. He's like the #1 recruit in the state of Minnesota. He's playing at Island Park on Wednesday night. So along with the tackle cancer game, we those that know, but it's kind of a cool deal that a kid who's going to be wearing maroon and gold next year and playing for PJ Fleck is going to be down here at Island Park playing football on Wednesday night. And regardless of the outcome, that's kind of a neat experience that we get to be a part of that for his last, regular season football game. And my kid's been playing against him since he was a 4th grader, and he's always been twice his size. So, if we happen to win, that'd be fantastic too. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool that the team, in Jackson is really good, and it's cool that a Division I type of player is going to be playing down at Island Park on Wednesday night. We get to watch that. So, drill-wise, we have completed 3 fire drills, and we have to complete 5, so we'll do 2 more this year. Alice Week, or School Safety Week, is coming up here the week back from break. I believe Mrs. Frank had sent an update out for people, so they're well aware that that's coming up. But we kind of do that annually. That's School Safety Week, so we look forward to that. Concurrent enrollment at PSEO continue to be big topics. I was at a legal update last week with Roger Arneson, our state lawyer, for kind of a legal update up in Mankato, and PSEO continues to be kind of a stymied issue in a lot of schools where they lose a lot of students to PSEO courses. We're very fortunate with the concurrent classes that we offer that we don't have that many students that leave for PSEO. There's many districts that have 40, 50, 60 kids taking PSEO courses. We don't have that. We have about a handful. And that's something that we're pretty proud of because of the investment that you folks and folks that have sat in those chairs before you have made in our teachers to be concurrent enrollment instructors and offer those courses at a very, very, very high level of rigor and quality. So we're really proud of that. We want to continue that tradition. But it's really important that we have those in-house courses that students can get over 40 credits right from Windom Area High School. That's pretty impressive. So 2 weeks ago, State Patrol was in to work with sophomores. They do the Towards Zero Deaths curriculum. Great program. We choose sophomores because they're getting their license sophomore year. And we want to talk about distracted driving and all those types of things, but just any of the dangers that come along with getting that driver's license kind of as an extension to what the students are doing in their driver's ed courses. So we do that in social studies, and it was, again, a great event, and we would love to partner with the State Patrol for that. Finally, as it's been stated, October 31st is the end of the quarter. Tomorrow is our first true ineligibility list. We have an ineligibility list coming out, and that will cause students to be ineligible if they're failing courses. So that list is coming out tomorrow. Students are well aware, staff is well aware. We kind of ran a probationary list about 3 weeks ago just to kind of make sure people are aware and urge them to get some help so we aren't failing classes. But tomorrow is the list that has some meat to it. So if you're failing a class, got to go through that process, either get the grade up or sign an appeal to get eligible for those courses. So just so folks are aware, if you hear that chatter out a little bit, we kind of make it out tomorrow, and then eligibility or ineligibility would start on Wednesday theoretically. So, yeah. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Joyce.
I will leave.
Enjoy the game. Okay, and now the special education report. Mrs. Wilson.
All right, I need to adjust that a bit. Okay, we have welcomed a couple of new paraprofessionals at both our elementary and our high school in the last month, and we are so incredibly grateful that they are there. We're excited to have them starting on our team, and you're going to keep hearing from us. We need more paras. We need more paras, and the reason for that is that our enrollment numbers within the special education department have also continued to grow. We had, from the end of last year to the beginning of the school year, we had 12 students with IEPs leave. We have now recouped those plus 6 more. We have 18 new students with IEPs who we've welcomed to the district, and we're hearing from some families that they're anticipating other family members moving to town who will also have students looking for support. So you're going to see us continuing to advertise for paraprofessionals. You're going to see me ask, can we create a new position or two to help support that? But I'm not asking for that yet because I want to make sure that I've got the exact numbers for you before we propose anything like that. But we are, along with our enrollment numbers in general, climbing. Specifically within that, our special education enrollment numbers are climbing. This past month, I attended a regional meeting for special education directors as well as some training for new directors in the state. Got to do some relationship building and networking and learn from other people who are in similar positions just starting out, and finding out that a lot of the things that we experience and find challenges with here are also experiences and challenges happening in other places. So it's good to be making those connections and knowing, like, hey, when I've got a question on this, there's people I can call, and other parts of the state that have different perspectives on how to approach it as well. So I'm very excited to continue doing those things. A big focus of the past month has been working with our teaching teams to create schedules that meet our student needs as we get familiar with our new CKLA. Sorry, they're all gone now. I didn't realize they were all. So, with our new CKLA curriculum, as we've rolled that out and gotten some experience now that there's a month of it under our belts at the elementary school, we're learning that there are some things that we can tweak so that we're doing things better for our students. And along with that, we're making some scheduling changes and working with our teaching teams and our para teams to make sure that we're getting the right kids, the right supports, exactly where they need them to be so that their skills can really take off. So a big focus of the last month has been working on refining that and growing as we go. And then we have also started our monthly special education teacher meetings where we're just pulling in the teachers from each building and talking about special education specific things, making sure that we're clarifying processes, procedures, different interpretations of all of the different special education paperwork and regulations and things that go along with it, just to make sure everybody's on the same page about what we're doing and how we can do it, and make sure that we're working effectively and crossing our T's and dotting our I's because we're coming up on a monitoring year. And that takes us right into what's coming next. We have 2 different types of monitoring that are going to go on in the district this year. There is federal and state monitoring that happens every year where they do like a review of our data in the falls, check proportionality of groups being identified as eligible for special education services, look at our discipline data and things like that. And then in the spring, they'll do kind of a spot check of some different things that are high priority areas for the state right now. So looking at our early childhood timelines and looking at our post-secondary transition planning for high school students, making sure that we're getting them ready for what it is that they want to be doing after high school. That goes on every year. This year we also get bonus monitoring where the state comes in and pulls several files from several buildings and looks through things from the last document that was done all the way through since the student was identified as most recently eligible. So it's a much more thorough and comprehensive review. And so we're working with our teams on what do we do to get ready for that, because most of our teachers in the special education department are so new, they've never done this before. So we're working with them on that and making sure that they feel like they have what they need to be prepared, and everybody knows this is going to be a learning experience for us, and we'll work through it together. Mr. Barfnecht mentioned earlier that coming up this week, we've got our early childhood screenings. They actually started today and they'll wrap up on Wednesday. This is a huge thing for our early childhood special education department. Each year we offer screenings for 3, 4, and 5-year-olds in the community, just several times a year to make sure that we're meeting our child find obligations. The biggest one is the one that we do in October when students have been attending preschool for about a month. It's it's the big one, and it is the primary driver of most of our early childhood special education evaluation referrals that we receive for the year. So we are anticipating that come Wednesday, we're going to get a little bit busier in the special education department, just because we'll have information about kids and want to make sure we're getting connected with services if that's what they need. Later this month, the State Special Education Administrators Association is having their annual legal conference, so I will be attending that up in Brainerd. It'll be hard to be in Brainerd in late October. That'll be tough, but I'm gonna make it through. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll get to go up to Madden's, and it's the entire conference is focused on special education law. So I'm really excited just to be up there and learning about that. And this new special education director stuff is going to be rolled into that. But there's also going to be a big focus on all of the changes that are going on at the federal government in regard to special education, and what does that look like on the ground for districts and states, and what kind of things can we expect from everything that's going on. So looking forward to what I can bring back from that. Then again, I'm going to put in one more plug before I wrap up. Paras, if you know anybody who wants to be a sub, if you know anybody who wants to take a part-time position, full-time position, we could use them anywhere, and we'd love to have them on our team. So, thank you.
Thanks for being proactive.
Any other questions for Mrs. Wilson? Are you going to go to the volleyball game? Okay, all right. Sweet.
I'm gonna take my spot
All right, next is the superintendent report, Mrs. Frank.
All right, let's talk about enrollment, and I have actual numbers for you, because as we know, the October 1st enrollment is the most important one of the entire year. Most of our funding is based on that. So you may remember that we graduated 90 seniors last year, and we were expecting 70 kindergartners. So we were expecting a decrease of about 20 students this year. However, over the summer, we had several students enroll. We ended up beginning the school year exactly where we ended, if that makes sense. So we gained a net of 18 students. And so the chart is in your board packet. You can see exactly our projections there in the first column, and then the October 1st counts where we actually ended. So you'll see increases in certain grade levels, decreases in certain grade levels. There's not one grade level that was impacted, immensely. So it's spread out over all grades K-12. Hiring. We've mentioned the paras several times tonight. I am running an ad on KDOM that seems to be working. We've been getting a few applications in the last week and a half, so that is positive. We're also advertising on social media pretty heavily. And also we are looking for a FIED teacher. So it's unfortunate that Dane and Brian are gone, but just so you all know, we are short one FIED teacher still. And what has happened is Travis Jansen is teaching part of the day, so we pulled him away from his behavior specialist position for part of the day. Dane is teaching a section. Brian is teaching a section. And so we pieced it together with several people. So anyways, I just wanted you to know that everybody's pitching in and making this work, but we are hoping to get a December graduate to come in and start teaching as soon as he or she is ready. And so we've been in conversation with a person, and so hopefully we'll have that wrapped up shortly. Okay, and then Wednesday, as several people have mentioned, is a professional development day for staff. We also have paras in addition to teachers. So let's just run through the schedule here quick so we all know what's going on. At the middle high school, our math teachers are working with a consultant. Okay, his name is Eric Schwankel. He's from the MDE. He's very good at math instruction at the middle high school level. So he's coming in to work with our math teachers. The non-math teachers are going to work on an SEL screener. SEL stands for social emotional. So the tool that we use at the middle high school is called the SRSS, and that is a tool that we've been using for years. But basically, the teachers run through a list of all students looking for social and emotional concerns, and they rank them. And then that all compiles into a score and gets sent to our counselors. And that's how we screen for social and emotional concerns. So they'll have time to do that. They're also going to have a lot of time to review the STAR data in EduClimber, and you hear Dane refer to EduClimber all the time, but that's our data warehouse system, and it's really nice. It's very user-friendly, and it's easy for teachers to identify students who have a particular need. So they'll have a lot of time to dig into EduClimber and explore the data. Preschool is going to be working on their early childhood screening. Elementary has a trainer coming in for their new reading curriculum, CKLA. And then in the afternoon, the elementary will be doing their social emotional screener, just as the middle school did in the morning. Paras, they're going to start out with a session called Don't Poke the Bear, working with acting out students without accidentally making things worse. So they have that session. Then they're going to work with Ashley Schmidt about working on the science of reading. And then they're going to finish it up with PARS with Amanda, and that is just paperwork that needs to get done that we usually have to hound people to get it done. So we're just going to take 45 minutes and everybody's going to do it. So, and that is paperwork that we need for special education. All right, next up, the board has a retreat on October 27th from 4 to 6, so please mark your calendars. Wold and Kraus-Anderson will be here. We're gonna work on marketing materials for the referendum, okay? So bring your creative side, and that will happen in the library at the middle high school. And lastly, just an update on the Vision for Windom Committee. The Taylor Family Farms Foundation grant is out, and it is exactly for a child care center, okay? So it aligned like beautifully with the mission that we have going on right now. So I wrote that grant last weekend. The group is going to review it tomorrow, and then we'll go ahead and get that submitted. And then also, it's been confirmed that First Children's Finance has accepted our application, and they will be working with us beginning in November. So this is a nonprofit organization to support the research, marketing, and education, as well as a strategic plan for the daycare center that will develop strong partners and create the sustainability that we need in the daycare center. So that project is moving forward as well. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Frank. Item, which is now item 13, anything from the board? We will be meeting after to discuss the negotiations with the teachers, but anybody have any other updates? Okay, of course, both the Finance Committee and Buildings and Grounds are continuing to work with Kraus-Anderson and Wold regarding next steps. So those are forthgoing, and communication is forthcoming. Thus the retreat that we have coming up. Okay, moving on. Item number 14 is to discuss lane changes. Mrs. Frank.
Okay, the Lane Change Committee met September 23rd to review the documentation requests. Transcripts were analyzed and course titles were reviewed to ensure that they were germane to the position that the teacher has requested. So those that are listed in your board packet have been approved by the committee, and we are looking for your approval tonight.
Okay, is there interest in moving this forward? Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Yep, the information is very, very straightforward in the board packet, so thank you. With no questions or comments, we'll just move forward for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Okay, next up is we're going to take another look this year at whether or not we run the early resignation guidelines. Mrs. Frank.
I edited the early resignation guidelines from last year simply by changing the dates. So everything is exactly the same as last year. The early resignation incentive is advantageous for us because it gives us a fair warning, right? If we have somebody who's going to retire. So let's go ahead and look at those guidelines here just to refresh our memories. All right. Okay, so the guidelines for teachers, if a teacher wants to qualify for the $2,000 incentive, they need to let us know by December 15th. The guidelines include that a teacher is a tenured teacher with a minimum of 5 consecutive years teaching for Windom area schools. The teacher is not eligible to retire and rehire within the school district. Although you may remember we had a situation where a teacher retired and then we couldn't find somebody to fill that position. So we added a little clause here under A that says if the district is unable to hire, the teacher may return to that position and keep the incentive payment, but then is not eligible for it again. Okay, so that is in there from last year. A part-time teaching position may be exempted if unable to fill the content areas. A teacher may be a short-term or a long-term sub for the district after they retire. And the teacher may work within another employee group. So if a teacher is a full-time teacher but wants to work as a secretary or custodian or food service, then that is allowed as well. And then lastly, you just have the timeline. So for $2,000 incentive, the staff or the teacher would need to let us know of their retirement intent by December 15th. For a $1,000 incentive, they would need to let us know by January 15th. Okay, then we go on to our 12-month employees. So this is going to be your custodians, basically your custodians, district office staff, that kind of a thing, secretaries. So the employee must be within good standing for a minimum of 5 consecutive years. The employee is not eligible for rehire. Let's see, the employee may be a short or long-term sub. Resignation notice must be received 6 months prior to separation to receive a $1,000 bonus, and 3 months prior to separation to receive the $500. Resignation notice does not include the use of vacation time, okay? And payment shall be received on the final payroll check.
Okay, thank you. So, we can do this in 2 ways. If there's a motion, that motion will mean you want the guidelines as they are, unchanged. And if there's a second, we vote, that's what it'll be. On the other hand, if anybody sees anything that they don't like, they want to change dollar amounts, timelines, anything like that, we'd need to talk about it first and then make a motion for any updates. So, how does everybody feel? Is there anybody that wants to see anything changed, or would there just be a motion to move it forward as it stands? Motion as a second as is. Before we vote on that, any questions or comments? Okay. Then all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion passes. Good. Yep. Just like Mrs. Frank said, it works. Works well. It's very, very, very helpful. Okay. Are there any additional items for the board tonight? Okay. If not, in just a moment, we will adjourn the meeting and go into closed session to discuss the teachers' negotiations. But then after that, we will return and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.